Welcome to our session on data visualization on steroids, the SPQCD framework. My name is Olav. I'm a product consultant at Obeya. I'm passionate about helping organizations improve and creating learning organizations without calling it learning organizations. And I found my new home within Obeya.
My name is Jacqueline. I'm working at Obeya because I like very much working on organizational change management, and I like to bring down silos and work from a systematic approach.
Okay, so SPQCD. What we mean with SPQCD is a framework. So essentially, how am I doing? How are we doing? How do we know what we're doing? So it's quite normal for us to actually measure our progress. Now, when we're doing that in a group, of course, we want to have a way to share that consistently. So imagine that you're driving a car. You have a destination of where you want to go to, but in order to get there with your car, you need to make sure that your car is in good health. You need to make sure that you're not speeding too much or you get traffic tickets. You want to make sure that you have enough gas. So we're all used to having a dashboard there. So the dashboard is not the goal itself, but the dashboard is there to help you guide you towards your purpose of where you want to go. And that's really what SPQCD as a framework is trying to provide you as well, is to have a way to measure on a consistent basis how you're doing towards your goals by keeping track of a number of key performance indicators. SPQCD stands for safety, people, quality, cost, and delivery. Those are key areas for steering an organization and things that matter to you as an organization that you want to improve on or want to keep track of. Every organization will have their own setup of key quality metrics, key cost, and key delivery metrics they want to keep track of. What you see here are some screenshots of how this would work if you would do this with paper. If we keep the example of safety, on the S, we keep track of how we're performing along the indicator for safety on a daily basis. If we have a good day, we'll color that date green. If we have a bad day, we'll color it red. In some cases, there's also the color yellow, but that's all a whole religious debate at some point, whether something is just good or bad, and if there's a middle category or not. One of the downsides of this, of course, is that once you have reached the end of a month, you might take a picture of the board and then you throw the board away and then you start the new month again. So benefits, why would you want to have something like this in your organization? It increases transparency, not just within the team that's using it and looking at some of these visualizations and having the performance dialogue about what it means and how to improve, but it's also helping you move create bridges between the different departments and between the different layers in the organization. It's enhancing the learning organization by having those conversations. And it's additionally bringing in the data to support having that conversation so you can actually create a scientific approach to the whole improvement. Now, if you can combine that with some historization, that would be wonderful. Let's go and see one of those boards.
Imagine that we have a company and we're working, we have different teams, and then those teams, they have their daily performance meetings on their team level. So in that case, I would like to take you to our team over here on this scenario 1. There are some red indicators over here. So don't worry, we keep it all under control. We have our daily moments on this. And what the team does when I'll zoom in is actually for each indicator, they will indicate according to the values. So for example, today we're the 22nd. And imagine that the team today didn't have that many incidents. So we'll put it like on just 1 and it will be automatically indicated in green. Imagine here on people and morale, we encountered a problem today. One of our team members was unforeseen out of the office because there was a training that was needed and we didn't put that in our calendar. So we had more people and it's going to turn red. In addition to have it coloring red, we're going to create an action card as well, because we also need to communicate in full transparency. And I will send this to Harry. Okay, Harry is going to need to deal with this and they'll escalate to HR because I need to have assistance. I also want to create a card on this because I still want to keep a focus on this element and I would like to have a feedback on this. Okay, you will see this card that appears. I will put it over here in my daily action plan because this one is important. Let me take you to this part. So here are different letters. So this box of action lists are escalated actions that have come from this board, but have been escalated to other teams or other hierarchies. We're working in a system and we're all together. So as we have done this, this is something that needs to take place in a team on a daily basis. In general, you don't have a lot of time, so it needs to be very well focused. If we want to make sure that this is going to be focused in our Obeya mindset, we will need a host. A host is the guardian of the space. In this case, it's Leo, needs to make sure that actually the whole team is engaged. And his focus is mainly on making sure that the agenda is well set, and the agenda and the engagement makes sure that we're going to have the relevant outcome. So for that case, he needs to make sure that everyone is comfortable to speak up. And we also need to have, for example, as written over here, we need to make sure that we have the right people involved. So we also have another partner, and that's the builder.
The role of the builder is to help the team set up and use the Obeya space that they have so they can bring all the information together to make the decision that they need within their space. While we talk about SPQCD, we'll see that in many different variations in different organizations. And that is because even within parts of organizations, you will have different needs. So the role of the builder is there to ensure that the team has the information that they need and that it is easily accessible. So they have structured place of where they can keep track of their actions. That will be either in a list somewhere on the board. In this case, we've placed it on the right side. And then if you like the physical cards in a digital form, then there's actually at the bottom of the screen, you actually have a collection of the cards as well. That's really for the builder in collaboration with the team to decide of how they want to structure the information that they have. From a guiding principle perspective, we want to stay true to the 1, 3, 10-second rule. That means we need to have a good overview of the information that we're looking at so that within 1 second, it is easy for us to see, okay, how are we doing? What's the situation? Do we have a deviation from the particular standard that we set? Now, by using the color coding, red and green, it's quite easy that if you look at the left, you can actually see that team 2 is having some challenges. You don't know the rest of the context, right? But just visually, you know that that is probably where you need to put some focus in right now. From there, you can actually zoom out, and within 3 seconds, you want to see, okay, what is the issue, and are there any countermeasures? When we focus on this one, and especially if we dive even deeper into the 10 seconds, like what are the details and who's responsible, is where we dive into the particular actions and escalations that are there for that team.
So it's really teamwork, actually, Olaf, if I'm correct. So you have
it is teamwork between the builder, the host, and the team.
And if we want to go one step further, we can also see that the information that we had indicated in Team 2, it needs to be escalated, and we need to make sure that there's a global view of the whole company. And for that, I want to take you to scenario 3, and we have actually a leadership team. So of course, every company will have its own different levels. Often we see like 4 levels, and from team level, we just go to the plant level, and then only afterwards you can go, for example, to a leadership team. What is important to understand, though, over here is about the stakeholders. A host, once again, needs to manage all the different people and all the different stakeholders. So they need to make sure that you have people engaged, but there's also people that need to be informed, and you need to make sure that some people keep satisfied, or people are actually really on other levels engaged. And when we're now on leadership team, we need to make sure that people are engaged on this level as well. We see that the information is already automatically updated over here. So if I want to have a look on this data, for example, where we had the absentee, I am going to click, and I can see indeed there's quite some people who are absent. Okay, that means from level 2, we have 5 people who are out of the office, and that means that for me, there's a problem. Of course, I can also make sure that I want to be sure that I have all the consolidation of the data from other teams. So I will want to take you further to the different level of escalation, because if I'm having teams like in team 2, who are going to share information and want to escalate the information towards another level, be it HR in our example, or be it on a hierarchical level or transverse, we need to make sure that there's an answer. So here we have actions that are listed for leadership. And here we have, for example, an action list of actions that have been escalated to this room and are coming from HR level. And we can see indeed over here our unforeseen absence of the team. Okay, I need to make sure that I'm going to give a reply as sooner the better. And I will open this element. Here we go. We're going to save this and it's going to be automatically sent back. And the card is going to disappear because it's going to come back to team 2. It's important to understand that if we want to make sure in a team in different management levels that engagement is consistent, we need to make sure also to always give a reply when there's an escalation of any information that is needed. So that's very important when we want to really make sure that SPQCD is going to get us up to steroids. We need to make sure that we see a company as a whole and to have all the different people involved. Because only with that way, we will be able actually to make sure that we have the whole process in a way like a PDCA, from plan, do, check, and act, and make sure that everyone stays informed during the whole process.
Now, where to go from here? What do we recommend you to do is take a look at how you define success, whether that's at team level, at whatever level in the organization within your Obeya. And if you know how you measure success, then define a way how this could be quantified. And if you don't know the best one, great. Then start with one that you know, and that will get you started. And then have the conversations. And what you'll find out is when you have the conversation, when it's visual, you will have the conversation, and then you will find out what true success actually means for you as a combined collective. And then you can refine on those metrics. Create your own dashboard with the SPQCD letters, but as said, you can use any kind of combination of letters of things that you care about. But what we've seen in the industry is that these 5 are typically present and are important. Thank you very much. And until next time.
Bye-bye.